Does it cost to rent?
It's super cheap.
Oh. Hmm. We'll take Turner's old office now that he has an official one. Or just the couch.
Yeah, the couch is fine. So what were you looking at with the legislative contest?
Okay, so there's different categories of stuff. Um, like I was looking at the Legislative Proposal and Approval Process Act.
Okay.
It states under county mayor's offices, legislation proposed by the Blaine County's mayor's office and/or the Los Santos County mayor's office are to be posted on the City Hall section of the government website and will immediately enter the 72-hour contest period. The Department of Justice is required to determine the constitutional alignment of the posted legislation during the 72-hour period. If no contests are raised during this period, legislation will be enacted by the relevant legislative authority. So he's technically correct in doing that, but why has every other one been treated differently?
Yeah. Because it's been like since Angel was still at Justice, where stuff could sit there for weeks until a judge had time to go over it and deem it constitutional or not.
I wonder if
And
we can get any of that to work in our favor. You think we can backdate legislation that was being repealed and didn't happen within the 72-hour period?
maybe?
Who knows? Am I putting in that effort? Probably not. Let's see.
Oh, Ledson texted me about something because I called him earlier and asked when he was gonna raise our fucking pay more than $250 an hour. And he said that I was coming at his throat, and I said, if I was coming at your throat, I would do what Raja wanted me to do all those years ago and meet you at Quick Fix.
Holy fuck. Um, medical authority. So it seems as though it changes depending on who's proposing the legislation. Um, so if it's proposed by the mayor's office, it immediately enters the 72-hour period. If it's posted by the medical authority, DOJ is required to determine if it's constitutional first within this. Well, actually, within 72 hours. If there's no issues during this period, it'll be enacted. Wait, I'm so confused. Are these written differently?
Yeah, looks like there are. Yeah, because the mayor's office, it says they immediately entered the contest period, and the DOJ has to determine it within the 72 hours. But the medical authority, the DOJ is required to determine the constitutional alignment within the 72 hours following it being posted. And then, if no constitutionality issues are raised by the DOJ, then a legislation is enacted. So
Um,
you can't even contest medical authority.
that's so strange. Also, I wanna.
Yeah,
I never read into the response to the contest. Let's see.
for the SAMA one, it literally says legislation proposals submitted by the San Andreas Medical Authority and determined to be constitutional by the Department of Justice are not subject to a public contest period.
Wait, what's not subject to the contest period?
The San Andreas Medical Authority legislation. So literally, people could just do whatever they want to from the SAMA side of things, and as long as it's not unconstitutional, then it can't be contested.
I guess my question is, why is Sama voting on this?
On which specifically?
Hold up. Wait. I voted for Junior. Let me ask him. Hmm.
And, yeah, with the Marshals stuff, I don't know why Sama would be
Oh, he hung
voting on
up.
it. I mean, half the fucking people that the Marshals look into are corrupt as fuck doctors.
Oh, awkward.
Yeah,
Awkward.
yeah. When I looked into Bruce Baylor, doctor. Somebody else is looking into somebody giving out medical equipment, doctor. Ledson got found with a bunch of medical shit, got raided, doctor.
What does the Constitution say regarding Constitution?
What are you looking
um.
at for the Constitution?
Uh. I want to know if there's any mention of uh marshals, or like what they fall under here, if anything.
So the Marshals were in the Constitution, and back in April it got amended by Falconer. It says it was amended by Falconer on direction of the state of San Andreas, removed, and I quote, the DOJ shall have a law enforcement agency that is responsible for overseeing other law enforcement offices.
Um.
But I know that when Bailey was still a judge, Bailey did ninja edits to multiple pieces of legislation.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And he didn't tell anyone. It was when me, Angel, and I think Lockhart were looking through shit, and Angel stopped and she said, "This isn't what I wrote." And it was Bailey had removed multiple lines of legislation, which made me laugh, seeing that he was like the legal person for the LSPD.
Mm. So they specifically removed the DOJ shall have a law enforcement agency that's responsible for overseeing other law enforcement offices.
Yes.
Mm.
And I have no clue what the actual martial legislation even says at this point.
I mean, it indicates that they're the ultimate authority. That I know. uh, let's see.
Okay, so they removed it from the Constitution, but in the San Andreas State Marshals and Correctional Officers legislation, it still says the SASM provides independent oversight of law enforcement agencies.
Oh. Uh, I
And
didn't
that was
realize there was a
amended.
specific state marshal and correction
Mhm.
officers piece of legislation.
It used to be
Um,
called the Angel Act, but that was another thing that Bailey changed.
operates as a statewide law enforcement agency with oversight responsibilities. It's tasked with investigating misconduct, addressing organized crime, and resolving jurisdictional conflicts between local law enforcement agencies in the field, ensuring the security and safety of the government officials and institutions. Led by a director appointed by the state of San Andreas. Um, Who? Who
Where does
from
it
the
specifically say that it was appointed by the state of San Andreas?
okay, do you see where it says section 1?
Yes.
Not the paragraph beneath it, the one beneath that. Is led by a director appointed by the state of San Andreas. In the event of a vacancy of the director position, the next highest ranking marshal shall serve as the interim director until such time a new director is appointed. So according to this, wait, are they changing this piece of legislation?
I don't think they're changing this one. Let me look at it again.
If they
I
don't
think he's
change
trying
this,
to implement an entire different one. Yeah, they're trying to put in another one, which is the state marshal's director appointment and oversight.
the authority to establish and empower the state marshals and DOC derives from the state of San Andreas. How can they sort of revoke the state of San Andreas's power? The math don't math there.
Yeah, it really doesn't math.
Jurisdiction includes investigating misconduct, blah blah blah. Temporary suspending agencies or individuals for which probable cause has been established. Is also authorized to declare a state of emergency under the following conditions, during which it may assume direct control of affected areas to restore order. May deputize individuals temporarily for specific operations. All deputized individuals operate under state marshal supervision and adhere to its operational standards.
I would just like to say that deputizing bit, me and Lockhart were going to deputize a bunch of DOC at one point when all the bullshit was going on between LSPD and BCSO, where there was like, get out of my county.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to teach DOC how to pursue people and let them write tickets on officers. But then Angel was like, you probably can't do that. So Angel saved everyone from getting hella tickets.
I'm reading the original, like the proposed bill. It states, well, actually, hold on, give me a second.
And I'll be honest, Angel probably still has the original copies of every piece of legislation she wrote.
Um, uh, I don't understand how conflicts are handled regarding uh bills. Hold on.
Because the entire writing of this bill, like the meat of it, is a blatant conflict of interest. Because how can you vote in the people that are supposed to look over you, but also be able to vote them out at the drop of a hat?
Uh,
If I want to FOIA the Los Santos and the Blaine County accounts, do I just gotta talk to a judge?
you can FOIA the. I look at mine. Actually,
Have you been FOIAing stuff?
mine was a copy pasta of Espinosa's because I didn't know the account number and he did. Um, See, here's what's interesting. Under the legislative audit procedure, it says Article 1, the cost, 50,000 payable to the DOJ, right?
Hmm.
Article 2, process and implementation. It says A, once an audit has been submitted and accepted, a justice within the DOJ will publish the matter to the docket and will summon/serve notice to appear to the party requesting the audit as well as the individuals involved for its passage. B, a hearing will be scheduled allowing both parties to be present during their arguments for or against, and the justice, upon its conclusions, will render whether that law in question is constitutional or if it should be stricken. Addition to that, the presiding justice may also make modifications to the legislation in accordance with their ruling instead of striking it from the record if it does not need to be stricken. So, is this just old? Because wasn't I mean this literally just means that a justice can. Let me rephrase this.
I don't think this was ever repealed.
If I wanted, okay, this is very interesting. If I wanted a piece of legislation passed, right? Well, actually, hold on. Does this not mean Richard could pay $50,000 to? Well, actually, no. It'd be dangerous. But I was gonna say, could this not mean that he pays $50,000 to, as silly as this sounds, argue the San Andreas State Marshal's piece of legislation, and then this is the dangerous part.
Mm-hmm.
Allow the justice assigned to that audit determine how it fully plays out. Which could ultimately give the mayors the ability, or the mayors plus whoever I don't fucking know.
I think legally, you're right, he can do that, but it is very dangerous, especially considering how the DOJ has been ruling on everything.
Also, from my understanding, the DOJ isn't their biggest fan at the moment? Question mark. I don't know much context, but
As much as I have been told, a lot of people still aren't really fans of the Marshals, and multiple people have told me that when me and Angel left, it went downhill.
well, I mean, they haven't had a director selected.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I would have just named myself the director if
Well,
it
no,
was.
no, no. Ultimately, you're just interim director until the state decides who is. Like,
Yeah,
Richard's
I would have just
entire
named myself
argument.
and just been like, "Suck it."
Richard's entire argument here is like this has already been determined. And
Mhm.
how are they going to transition the power of the state of San Andreas to them?
Because I know that there were interviews. Barrett had interviews. Dark had an interview. I think Barrett told me that Barrick also interviewed, and I think Pred interviewed, from what I was told. And this was months ago at this point. And then they were supposed to hear back 2 days after the interviews. The DOJ never told them anything. It continued to just not have anything happen, to the point that Barrett quit and wrote an open letter to the state of San Andreas.
Um,
If you look in your shared reports, there is a letter from Barrett from 3 months ago. That's a Marshall's letter to elected officials that Barrett just shared with the entire city.
hmm. Uh, hold on, I need a drink, chat.
But yeah, they had the interviews, and then the DOJ never told them who their new director was, so they've just been sat in interim director because that's all that they could do by legislation.
Um. Yeah, I'm gonna be so fucking for real. I'm hold on, let me squint as I read this. Under the legislative authorities, Blaine County shall have legislative authority over its jurisdiction, responsible for the governance, public services, and local laws that pertain to the residents and operations within Blaine County. The Blaine County Mayor is responsible for governance of the county's laws, and the Blaine County Sheriff's Office is responsible for the county's public services. Um, the sheriff shall be appointed by the Blaine County Mayor. I'm struggling to see authority over, say, marshals. Like, next these bitches gonna be like, okay, and we're gonna direct if I can direct the director of the Fleeca Bank, and they report to us, and what we say goes. Hello?
That was something that Angel kept on trying to make everyone in like LSPD realize, is that the mayor is not the boss of the Los Santos Police Department. Just like the mayor is not the boss of the Blaine County Sheriff's Office. The only power that they have is to appoint the chief and the sheriff. They can't say how you should be training, how you should be patrolling.
Uh-huh. Give me once. I don't know who this is. Hello, this Matt Rhodes.
Hey, Road. Sorry I couldn't take your call earlier. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Busy as always, but how can I help?
I have a question.
Alrighty, far away.
So I'm looking at the whole state marshal's director appointment and oversight amendment.
Yeah.
What's the dealio with that?
How so? What's the dealio?
Huh? What?
Say that again.
What's that all about?
So essentially, we've not had someone in place who's leading the marshals. We've had interim dark for quite some time, right?
Right.
This legislation essentially pushes for the justices, the mayor of the North and South, as well as the Sama, to make a decision on who the director of the marshals will be. The way it's going to work is that 3 out of the 4 parties have to agree on someone, and then that person then gets named as the director.
Got it. Okay. I guess my concern stems from current legislation indicating that the state of San Andreas is to determine that. But prior to that, I think there was mention of I don't know. From my understanding, the DOJ, prior to their oversight of the marshals being removed, sort of stalled and delayed super heavily. And so I guess my question becomes, considering sort of the specific context in which the marshals exist, to investigate corruption in government office and whatnot, if it's appropriate for those people to vote who investigates them.
That is a very very valid point. But what would your suggestion be? How do you feel it should be held then, or decided?
Well, I genuinely, I think we just try to push the state of San Andreas to make a pick. If it's been this long, full disclosure, I say this probably from a biased perspective. I think I'm just thinking logically here. But if there's been an interim director for a long period of time, I don't know why they wouldn't get it. But more importantly,
the director.
Again, for me, it's like, has anyone tried asking for the state to make a decision?
We've asked the governor on several occasions, and he's kind of been. To my knowledge, this is something you probably have to speak up on the justices about, because they've directly emailed the governor. I mean, you do know who the governor is, right?
Who's the governor?
Governor K
I think that's
K
Mr.
Oil.
K. Oil.
Oh, Mr. Oil.
Yeah,
Okay.
the big boss.
Big boss. Got it. Got it.
So we've emailed him, and to my knowledge, I think both times they've asked about it, it's kind of been aired. So I think it's one of them. I think we've been left to make a decision to our best interests.
Got it. And then regarding, so I guess the next question becomes like, if a power lies solely within the state of San Andreas, or like, yeah, with the state of San Andreas in this case, how can it be sort of legislated in a way to where that's removed? Like, how can power from the state be removed, if that makes sense?
It that in what context?
Well, okay, let's assume, hypothetically, instead of this being against the state of San Andreas, let's say it was, what's, actually, let me rephrase this. Trying to figure out a good way to explain this.
It's a really, I don't say awkward topic. It's a very detailed and like
Yeah, no,
topic to
that's,
discuss. So take your time.
I guess my question is like, hypothetically, let's say every elected person, so you, the other mayor, medical authority, and DOJ, decide, you know what, our finances are in ruin. We're gonna legislate us appointing the director of FLECA as long as we have a 3-4 vote, despite never having authority over FLECA because it's not under the control of, you know.
Yeah.
That just simply wouldn't be legal, right?
Yeah. So, well, firstly, I'll be very surprised if anyone goes and does that because it's beyond stupid. But what I say to you, if on like the very off chance that does go and happen, then the public can contest the legislation.
But then it's voted on by the DOJ, who is also looked into by the marshals. Like,
No, it goes to if that legislation gets pushed, it goes to arbitration, and then the public decides whether after then it goes to a public vote, and the public decides whether they see it fit or not to push it.
interesting. It's very interesting on the basis that I simply don't see the state ever conceding its sort of right, or forfeiting its right, um uh, to power based on a proposed bill or something. um that aside, my original conversation, aside from that, stemmed from a conversation I had earlier, regarding the BCSO. And I want to preface this by saying, I have no ill will towards you. I've only heard of what occurred in a meeting, I think shortly after you'd gotten elected in Shift 3. Which, from my understanding, was also not a Shift 3 officer, to be clear, but neither here nor there. My question, which I asked Frost, was whether or not the mayor had sort of any directive for the sheriff. And I was told three things. Number one, that the BCSO should patrol more in the north, or primarily patrol in the north. Two, that there should be a, I forget exactly how it was worded, but restructure, shake up. And three, that everyone be demoted. I'm saying this on memory. I could be paraphrasing here, but those are like the three primary things. And when I asked for like further clarification, I was told that one of the things that you had mentioned is that the BCSO is very clicky. Um, and I guess I'm inquiring as to um, like who the problematic clicks are.
I don't think it's fair for me to outright name people because firstly that'll be very unprofessional of me.
I mean,
But
you had an entire department demoted. Why wouldn't you call them out?
because it's not my place, because I'm not the sheriff.
But it was directive you gave to the sheriff, right? Like if I say
Well,
something's bad, I shouldn't be able to. Well, not that I shouldn't be able to. Um, that's not like that's not justification. That's just like sort of the conclusion, right? And I'm trying to better understand the situation at hand. Um,
mhm.
which is why like listen, I'm sure you've seen Nino do this. You know, someone brings something up and he wants specific examples.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I'm trying to do here to again sort of evaluate the situation, and figure out if this like truly is or was a problem, or if it's like again no ill will towards you or Frost or anything like that, or if it's sort of just like a cop out, like a cop out answer. Um, that's
I'm happy to give you an example of someone whose behavior I think was really poor.
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Declan Crane. We previously touched on it in the Shift 3 meeting. He saw it fit to read out reports over 10 months ago before I got expunged. And I'll be honest, a very long time ago, and reading out to the whole of UPD to hear about the previous times I was arrested, which these reports should have been sealed. And I'm happy. Like I'm very open and honest about my past, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can ask me, you can go and say, "Hey, Junior, what's you back in there?" Like, yeah, like, I'll be very open and honest and say, yeah, at one point in time, I used to sell weed. Like it's like
Right, people
I'm not
change.
scared. I'm not scared of hiding that because I'll be perfectly honest. If I didn't go through all the things I went through back in there, I wouldn't be sat where I am right now. But
Right.
doing that and seeing it as him trying to score some points over me, going, "Oh, you're just a weed pusher."
Yeah, I mean,
I
I don't find that appropriate
thought
either.
no,
I'm
I
fully
see
on
it
board
as
with you.
very I saw it as very disrespectful and highly inappropriate to do on. I'll be honest, I stayed up extra late just to show face there because I'm sure, especially during those hours, they never really see like any form of mayor or cabinet attend those meetings. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make a good first impression, and then they were on me from the off, uh, bringing up things like that, which I thought as very inappropriate to do.
But again, fully agree with you there. I don't think that's the time or place, or realistically that there ever is a time or place. Um, I mean, hell, if anything, these are things that should have been, investigated by who the fuck knows, journalists, like during the election, not necessarily post. It also neither here nor there. Um, I don't quite know if that hit on the question though, which was the clicks. Like,
The cl-
yeah.
Look, the clicks is something which I wouldn't say got brought to my attention, but let's be honest. If someone says to you BCSO on clicks, do the names instantly pop into your head?
No,
They don't. Okay.
no.
Well,
But again, also I'm shift 3 into 1,
mhm.
so maybe I'm not exposed to this, but also further into the whole like I would love insight into the situation.
Okay. So from the outside looking in, I feel that there were certain people in command positions that were in those positions for too long, and there was a certain group of people who held power within the BCSO for an extended amount of time, and this often led towards poor performance and issues such as the Declan Crane one going unnoticed. And for example, when I brought it up with the previous sheriff McNulty, he said he laughed and said, "Yeah, I will have a chat with him, but nothing is going to come from it." And I'm like, respectfully, if I wanted to, I could file criminal charges against him, but I'm not going to because I'm, giving him the benefit of the doubt and leaving you guys handle it in house. But you said you're just going to have a chat with him.
Got it. Okay. And so just to verify, though you're not specifically naming people, it was primarily just people in command positions that were there for too long, and you feel that has led to punishments or consequences not really being dished out fairly, right? Is that
Not even punishments, but I feel there's certain things within the vision which I want to push, like more patrolling up north, more focus on community policing, and ensuring that we have a BCSO which is for Blaine County. I felt that those changes needed to be made.
got it? Okay.
Like for example, I'm not saying this is specifically people in command, and I hope you understand this is a conversation which I'm having with you. When I had a conversation with McNulty, he discussed about some of the people who, his whole thing for Blaine County, he loves Blaine County, right? And he did a lot of patrolling up north, and he tried to encourage and push people up more to do this. But some people didn't want to do this, but and they preferred patrolling the city, which he saw as fine because he prioritized people's happiness over what he wanted as his vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
So me personally, I feel it's important to, whilst people's happiness is very important, I think it's important to push forward the vision which you want and see if you can come to some kind of compromise with what people see their goals as.
Got it. Okay.
Does that kind of answer your question? Hopefully.
Sort of, kinda. Okay, so then based upon, your vision of wanting this to sort of be cleaned up, um, like at that point, it was sort of like then next course of action, restructure, everyone be deputy, and then rethink command, right?
Yes, correct.
Got it.
But
Okay,
it's the decision that both me and Frost discussed about.
got it. I mean, I'm sure eventually you'll have a conversation with Frost. I don't stray away from relatively hard hitting questions. I love answers. I love to know why. If there's a serial killer, I would love to pick their mind regarding exactly why they did everything they did. So I do apologize if this is sort of getting long winded.
No. Like,
But
I'm happy to talk to
I
you in regards to whatever.
I do feel I feel it important to bring up um like sort of the consequences of like stuff like this happening. So for example, despite the meeting in shift 3 that didn't necessarily go according to plan, from my understanding an overwhelming majority of it was people from shift 2. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure that there are probably people who participated from shift 3. But shift 3 is always operated as kind of like a UPD amongst both the LSPD and BCSO. And sort of overnight, we had nobody in that command had already been decided for shift 1 and 2, but not 3. The prior high command of shift 3 showed up and kind of said, listen, I don't quite know what's going on, which is kind of really bad to look at the shift that you have sort of built from the ground up and go, hey, I looked at the MDT today and I'm just a deputy alongside you guys, which not your fault, to be very clear. Obviously, there was a failure in communicating that bit of information. And then the following day, finally being able to speak to the sheriff, and there are answers that or there are questions that there should be answers for that there aren't. Like, we were told that everyone's going to be sort of evaluated on their merits and their ability to do their job and all this stuff. But now there's no one in shift 3 to even look at those things. And so I question how stuff like that's going to get handled if there's there's literally no one. Like,
Yeah,
um,
I understand your point. Would you feel better if it was we had the discussion between the three of us?
I've already. So here, the thing is, I've already asked Frost. Um, uh, all of the questions I'm asking now regarding Blaine County, primarily because it was sort of like open form stuff within the BCSO, and I didn't want anyone to feel uncomfortable asking these questions. Because I know some people can be pretty vindictive when you start to question certain things. And I got answers from him. To be very clear, I got answers, but they're not healthy answers. Like, he is going to take it. He's taking that responsibility on his own shoulders and said over the next 7 days, he'll be in shift 3 for a majority of the week, which implies more than 4 days, right? That's not good when he's also telling us he's doing 18-hour shifts in shift 1 and 2, Like,
yeah, I do agree with you on that.
But also could have been resolved if he had spoken to the people in the department. And again, nothing against Frost. I guess I'm just asking for like more consideration for like there's never a one size fits all ever, like straight up.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm not sure if Frost has told you, but there isn't a single person applying for any of the positions in shift 3 because it takes a very special kind of someone to want to take on those responsibilities for literally no additional benefit.
To my knowledge, it's essentially its own beast, right? Shift 3.
Correct. Primarily because it's operated as a UPD. Like when academies happen, it's between LSPD and BCSO, and we've always been that way. And the expectation is it stays that way. Whether it does is going to be ultimately the decision of the sheriff. But the people who were in those positions are now in a position of like not necessarily feeling slighted, more so like they had these thoughts of it being like an overbearing responsibility, and now because the job was taken away from them, it's like, and the requirement to get the job back is to put forth additional effort over the effort they've already put in many times prior. Suddenly there's now no one to do that, and it's like that was like an avoidable pitfall,
Yeah.
And I don't know if the correct people are being spoken to regarding problems because like I said, the only thing I've gotten for justification has been clicky stuff. And again, I don't see that, but again, also shift 3, so it is what it is. But regardless, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Peters was trying to call me and probably wants to speak to me, so I have to head to the office. But I do appreciate your answers. If you ever have any questions or feel you need additional insight, and I have said insight, don't ever hesitate to call and ask. I'm an open book. I'll be the first to admit when I'm wrong. I'll be the first to admit if I've done something wrong. Just
Okay.
don't ever hesitate.
Okay, really appreciate that. Is there anything that I haven't been 100% clear on?
I mean
Well,
the clicky stuff regarding examples, but I can also understand the value in you not specifically saying that because you'd probably fear that I would tell said people that they were identified as being the clicky people and then start drama. So totally understand. No, actually don't tell me because I don't want to be the person with said information who is then responsible for causing drama. I would actually prefer not to be in that position.
Okay, yeah, okay, cool. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I just don't feel it's my place.
Well, I mean, it is if you were the one to point it out.
To an extent, yes, but don't you feel that should be something you should be speaking to Frost about?
I did, and he wasn't willing to say anything regarding it.
Okay.
we very clearly have different mindsets, you know, like and the way in which everything was handled was very much so like iron fist. It is what it is, just deal with it, as opposed to like evaluating specific individuals or problems and dealing with them or trying to improve upon them. But again, only time will tell us whether or not this stuff's going to work, and you know, we can only give it an opportunity, and if it does, great. If it doesn't, then hopefully something changes.
Okay, awesome. I will.
Yeah, appreciate your time.
Appreciate you. Oh, will you be at the meeting at the start of NA?
I will not, unfortunately.
Okay. I do have a message to pass on to shift 3 if possible, because I
Okay,
won't be
yeah,
at the
what's up?
start of that. Are you happy to pass this on?
So I
'Cause-
can't promise that I will be present, but if it's just a message that needs to be passed on, I can let other people who certainly will be at the meeting communicate that.
Okay. Do you have your MDT on you?
I do have my NDT. Yes.
Awesome. Right. Go on to legislation for me.
Legislation. Yep.
Search up bribes, and then you should see the San Andreas Business Relief Incentives and Benefits for Enterprise Support. The
Yep.
bribes
I do
Act.
see that.
Okay, awesome. I want you to scroll down to Article 6 for me.
All right. See it.
So this was previously a Los Santos thing, but we've now made it for San Andreas. So essentially, authorized businesses can now offer meals or services to on-duty officers. So BCSO deputies are only authorized to receive meals in this program from a business located in Blaine County. So I want to talk about this firstly. We're going to be opening up a couple of pop-up stores in Blaine, but for temporary reasons, go through a food stall in Senior Buns and record this. Alongside the repair program, which means you can now start getting free repairs for personally owned vehicles. What me and Frost agreed upon, we're going to be finding some select businesses, so the food stall plus mechanic shops, which you go to. They record your badge number, what the actual sale is, etc., or whether it's food, how much food you're ordering, and then they basically come to us with a set amount showing what's being given to BCSO officers as part of this legislation.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah. So if you can,
is that already in place?
The food stalls.
Yes.
And not just yet, but if you give me 24 hours, I should be able to pass on. I just want to let them know that legislation is there, and I know the $250 an hour thing is seriously affecting some people, so much so like they can't afford repairs and things. So it's just a message passing on that the legislation is put in place. We just need to find the food stalls and the mechanic shops who are willing to basically do the paperwork and help us out.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, I will absolutely make sure that gets communicated. Though if the time frame is 24 hours before like figuring stuff like that out, if you want me to have this communicated, I will. Do know that a lot of times both PDs have been told like the legislation's here, but also not yet. And then it never happens because something falls through, and then it.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to wait 24 hours to sort out the additional details, and then come out all at once with this is in place, and you can do or go to these businesses. Again, I don't want to tell you how to do your job. So if you want me to communicate the portion in which I let people know that this is in the works, and then in the near future. Sort of follow through with it. Or if you do just want to wait the 24 hours and then sort of have everything all at once and not like a fragmented. Yeah.
Okay. Has that been a frequent thing with the BCSO that legislation's getting pushed?
No, so it's not necessarily even just a legislation thing. This happens every time there's anything new for the PD as a whole. If we get a new weapon, we get told, don't touch it. Don't touch it. And then we hear nothing about it for months. And then there's word on the street, and then finally someone comes out and says months later, oh yeah, we could have used this the whole time. And it's because it was announced before it was actually ready, and as a result, people like all the hype for it goes away by the time it's actually usable, and it becomes just it's like sort of receiving empty promises, and you kind of just become blind to it.
Give me. Are you gonna be around in like an hour?
Yeah, I'll be around an hour.
Give me like an hour. We should have the food things sorted, but the mechanic thing may take a little bit more time.
Got it. Okay. Fair enough. Totally understandable.
I'll give you a call in regards to that. But yeah, we should be good to go. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, that would be great.
All right. Take it easy.
All right.
Appreciate
Have a
your
good
time,
one.
Loads.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Were you fishing to see if he would say that it was his idea to demote everyone?
Not necessarily. I mean, sort of, kind of, but like it doesn't matter at the end of the day because it's already happened. And like even if it wasn't him directly, like I bring it up not in a malicious like you fucked up, more so a like just be careful moving forward because now shift 3 is already going to suffer as a result of it. We've lost Lucas, we've lost Sky, like kind of fucked. Also, Peters wants me in the office up north, so I have to dip.
Okay. What did he say about the legislation that you originally asked him about with the whole marshal thing and the 4 people?
He said he pretty much said that though it is the state of San Andreas who should be doing it, it has been left undone, that they have attempted to get in contact with the governor, have failed to do so, and this is their like really the only proposed solution that they can think of. I obviously brought up the concerns regarding them choosing the person who investigates them. I don't recall exactly what his answer for that was. I don't think it was anything of note, truthfully. I don't quite know, straight up. There wasn't really anything like fruitful, because then I got caught up in the conversation of like, is it even legal to take away the power from the state? But again, it be what it be.
Yeah. Do you think Peters is going to try to make you a command member?
Probably, and he's going to get the same
no?
answer. I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say I would rather double fist myself and make it very clear I do not find that enjoyable. So there's no confusion.
Yeah, because he might think that you were into that.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of hit on my husband. Oh, I have to grab food from downstairs. I'm hangry. Well, off I go. Sorry to cut this short. I didn't anticipate thing. I feel like I'm gonna be painted as the bad guy. I don't care though. Yeah. But it's like I'd rather it not happen. But I guess I'd rather it happen to me than someone else who's gonna end up fearing for their job. Kind of like, you remember when Belle did her thing with when
she said that she was gonna impeach Peters.
Yes.
And then she got fired for it. Oh.
Yes, exactly. I feel like a lot of people are in that boat, and rightfully so. But I'm kind of at the point of like, I don't know that I care. Like it wouldn't be ideal, but it's not the end of the world for me.
Angel asked us, like, when we were both still marshals, to do audits on every officer and deputy, and we started it, and we had to tell everyone, like, this is entirely private, this isn't going to go anywhere, your job is not at risk, if anything comes out of it, everything will be confidential.
Yeah.
I became the entire PD's therapist for about a month. It was great. And Flippy snitched to me. That was great.
Flippy? Interesting.
Yeah. Because, did you know about Denzel and that whole thing? It was around the time that, Hydra had gotten raided in Jackie Snow's house and all that.
What happened with Denzel?
So Denzel, called a bunch of Manor members to come down to Mission Row took weapons and everything off of them, but left them with their phones and took them into the observation room of the interrogation rooms downstairs. And then Denzel and Miller went in and were posing with a bunch of class 2s, showing them off to Manor. And then they took photos and sent them to Flippy. And then Flippy came to us.
Wait, what? What was the basis of pulling, like, having the guns out? Because if it was for, like, the purpose of, like, identifying the guns or asking if they've seen them out on the streets, not
Nope.
the worst thing in the world. But if it was just for the sake of...
Yeah, Manor was in the observation rooms. Denzel and Miller were in the interrogation room, and they were literally just posing with the class 2s.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's no point now.
Yeah.
Do you have like a shitty CVPI?
No, I don't have anything here.
Fuck. I need
Or
a...
do you just mean in general? Or
just
something here specifically?
well, it could be anything really.
I have a car at BCSO.
Nah, I want to drive something up there, but my cars all right now are, aside from the Scout inventor's name, it's all
Good morning.
the brown gray color.
Oh.
Oh, I'm going down this. Wait, I parked
My
inside.
car's down here too.
Shit. All right, I gotta rush. She's waiting for me, I think.
It's okay.
Man, hey, I might not have a job shortly. Now there ain't no way that wouldn't happen.
Nobody's If you do lose your job, you can always start a recycling center again.
True. I'll be on Alta. Oh, wait. We'll just do this. We need to park something up north is the problem. We might as well do it now. Time to see what this is gonna be. You can't spam the horn. This is me tapping E over and over.